Hello friends, this is Christian Wiese. Today's presentation is Awakening Halfway There. You probably think of the Bon Jovi song, Halfway There, Living on a Prayer. It's about the state that many of us are in, where awakening has happened. We have observed, seen, felt, sensed a world that very few experience. But on the other hand, we still have many moments where the 3D world pulls us back and we feel that we have one foot in each world and we feel a little frustrated. So the theme of the presentation of Halfway There is that there's actually a lot of beauty and insight in that tension that we feel, and the suggestion is to stay with that tension. Remember how two of the greatest, Buddha and Jesus, found their enlightenment. In the case of Jesus, he was in the desert for 40 days. In the case of Buddha, he has been trying everything a spiritual seeker can do for 6 years, and then he finally sat down in front of a tree and just said, whatever, I just sit here until either I drop dead or find enlightenment. And in both cases there were those three temptations that were a little different in nature. In the case of Jesus, it was the demon coming to him and saying, you're very hungry after 40 days in the desert. There are the stones. If you're so powerful, why don't you make bread out of them? And Jesus said to the demon, man does not live from bread alone. And then a little bit later, the demon came again and said, there's that big tower. If you're so powerful, why don't you jump? And God will send his angels and will lift you safely to the ground. And again, Jesus said to him, put your God not to test. And then the demon came a third time and showed him all the empires in the world and said, if we align, we can have all that. And Jesus said to him, worship only God. And then it was over. The demon disappeared, frustrated. Now, the important point of this, and by the way, in the case of Buddha, it was a little different. In the case of Jesus, it was all about power. In the case of Buddha, it was also about sex. The demon said his beautiful daughters, but Buddha ignored them. The mistakes that everyone makes is they all think it's about the particular message coming from those two giants, and we should study their message. No, it's about the tension. We are the Buddha, we are Jesus. We are currently in the desert for 40 days, or have been on that spiritual quest for 6 years and are frustrated. It's about being with that tension and just seeing how we are fighting our own nature. So be with that tension and see what happens. Don't just jump to the conclusion, just be with the tension and see what happens. So again, in the case of Jesus, if we go down that path of everything is about power, 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 well, then maybe that's a great opportunity to look into that urge for power and just sit with it. Just looking at that theme that seems to develop, something inside of us. The problem with enlightenment is we are striving for something and we are essentially fighting who we are. For example, the famous, you are not your body. Well, that feels good and that feels right until the day when toothache comes. Then you realize, God damn it, I am my body. This really hurts. So stay with attention. That's where all the insights come. And something that Buddha in particular communicated, the path of the middle. The problem that we do is we take 2 steps, 1 to equanimity and 2 to enlightenment. Just take 1 step. Just take 1 step towards equanimity. Stay with attention. Tell you what your so-called lower self tells you, and say what your so-called higher self tells you, and just stay with attention. I've seen a beautiful illustration where a seeker seeking enlightenment sees to the right a guru who has a sign in his hand. It said, "Last stop before enlightenment." And of course the seeker gets very happy and gets very excited, and he keeps walking. And suddenly 10 meters in, there's a sign which says, "You're on the wrong path, turn around." So just imagine, you just got the message, last stop before enlightenment. And then he gets the message, turn around, this is the wrong way. What do you do? That is the tension I would like to talk about. Value the tension. The way I put it in terms of sex, no tension, no orgasm. Or if you perhaps think of mountain formation, no quake, no breakthrough. What we're looking for lies, the gem that we're looking for lies in the tension. The other day I was driving, and I guess I was already excited for the upcoming Thanksgiving here in the US. The boys are coming home, so we're soon all together again. And at that moment there was so much peace, and actually so much light, even though it was a very cloudy day in Massachusetts. There was suddenly so much light. And the expression, which is Latin, love your fate, came to my mind, an old philosophy. And I realized there is just so much wisdom in that statement. Love your fate. Love the path that you have traveled. Love, appreciate the tension that you currently feel. That is where the light comes in. Everything is perfect. We hear that often from people who have that massive breakthrough, and suddenly, holy cow, everything is perfect. And for anybody who is not experiencing that, that seems just so strange. What do you mean everything is perfect? We have wars, we have poverties, we have illnesses. How can you say everything is perfect? But from that individual perspective, somebody who suddenly realized the movie that person has been in, it's an absolute correct statement. Everything is perfect. And why is everything perfect? Because the road that has brought me here has brought me to that tension that has allowed that breakthrough, and it's happening here right now. So the weird message of halfway there is indeed the comic that I referred to. The guru that we just passed, last guru before enlightenment, the sign that we see, sorry, you're on the wrong road, turn around. And 5 meters away is this sign. 5 meters behind is the sign of the guru, and we just stand there right in the middle. And that's it. That's where the light comes in, right here. All right, I hope you found this presentation helpful. Until next time, bye.